Hello, my name is William Conrad, and this is my capstone proposal. To get things started, I'll begin with a quick story. When asked to talk about Native American culture with her son's class, my aunt started with a simple question: what do Native Americans eat for breakfast? The answer: an Egg McMuffin with coffee. My aunt used this question to demystify Indigenous culture and to help the students understand that Native Americans are a part of the here and now and not a relic of the past. I laughed along with my uncle when he told me this story, but it left me with a new question. A question that led me down a rabbit hole that included cultural genocide, the history of governmental food distribution, and current movements across the US that are using indigenous food as a means of cultural reclamation and food security. That question was, what did Native Americans eat for breakfast? But before we can answer that, we need to set the scene. In 1819, the U.S. government passed the Civilization Fund Act. This act funded the systematic destruction of native language and culture through boarding schools and missionaries. 11 years later, in 1830, the Indian Removal Act was passed and began the rationing of processed lard, flour, and canned meat to replace the food systems indigenous peoples had been participating in for generations. These processed rations founded the base of Native American food as it is seen today. And this date marks the beginning of the most dramatic dietary change found in Native American history. In 1977, the Food Distribution Program on Indian Reserves was passed to help expand the existing food assistance programs for Native Americans because of the food insecurity issues within these communities. The legacy of this story is still very present today. 80% of Native Americans suffer from diabetes and other dietary-related illnesses. 1 in 4 Native Americans live below the poverty line. And to make this fact worse, Native American communities face some of the highest rates of food insecurity in the country. So, to bring this back to my initial question, what did Native Americans eat for breakfast? The answer is still unknown to me, and will probably remain so. However, I'm no longer searching for recipes, but rather looking at how the process of reconnecting with these lost ingredients can help heal trauma and provide future generations with secure access to food. For my capstone, I reached out to the Tunica Biloxi Tribe's Cultural and Educational Resources Center to discuss the possibility of creating a space for native food research and programming. They connected me with a member of the program who was developing an ethnobotany guide for native plants and their uses. And through our talks, I learned that they were working on projects with goals very closely aligned to what I was interested in.
Both, actually. We are currently working on becoming food sovereign. We just bought, I think it's, or we just got 400 something acres from the state, and we're going to be turning those into croplands for our people. So that way we can provide a steady source of food for our people. And where I'm kind of being the head person is for a traditional medicine garden. Our health department is wanting to bring back more traditional ways to help with like mental illness, trauma, PTSD, all this other kind of stuff.
Of course, I was very excited to hear this. I asked if I could base my capstone around the projects they were working on, and fortunately, he said yes. I will be designing a native health garden and food foraging trail on the Tunica Biloxi Reservation in Marksville, Louisiana. In doing so, I'm aiming to blend the health benefits of recreational hiking and food foraging with a restorative garden space and educational programming. Connections to the 400 acres of cropland are still up in the air as the state has not yet confirmed the site boundaries. However, I hope to extend the trail system into the farmland if it is nearby. Other potential connections nearby are the Marksville Mounds, which the Tunica Biloxi also recently gained ownership of, as well as the Grand Lake Campground and the Boggy Bayou Boat Launch, which are both located in the Spring Bayou Wilderness Management Area adjacent to the site. Finally, this project aims to give people the right to healthy and culturally appropriate food produced through ecologically sound and sustainable methods, and their right to define their own food and agricultural systems. Thank you.